Caleb Love had 27 points and Trey Townsend shot 7 of 8 from the field. What is this, opposite day? Kevin, we're back to our winning ways on the AZ Wildcats postgame show. Playing that music that just hits a little bit different when the Cats get the W. Arizona, of course, takes down Oklahoma State 92-78 to move to 12-6 overall, 6-1 in the conference, and just get back in that W column overall. I am, of course, Damon Fairall, and I am with my boy, as always, Kevin Thomas, pressing buttons, doing it all. Wearing that Sick Slam t-shirt with all the boys on it, except for, Vasar and who else isn't on it? I mean,
Deli's not on here.
Deli's not
Liam
on there.
Lloyd's not on here.
But the
DRF's kid is not on here.
The people that showed up tonight are on there for the most part, Kevin.
Oh, yeah. Big time. I think Caleb Love is on this shirt, and so is Trey Townsend. These two right here did a lot of work tonight, Damon, and we're going to get into that. But let's just start off with this. The Wildcats are back in the saddle after taking down the Cowboys. Took them right off their horse.
Of course. It's sometimes you want to be a cowboy and sometimes you don't, Kevin. And today I'd rather be a cat than a cowboy. But of course, Tommy gets his 100th win as well.
Yes.
Big news there. Kevin did some quick research on it. 18th guy to 100 Division I victories in men's basketball. So congrats to our coach, Tommy Lloyd, my coach, Tommy Lloyd, Kevin. I'm claiming him. Listen, Tommy Lloyd's one of the best coaches. He's had one of the best starts of any coach in the history of this game.
Undeniable.
I think you look at the list of the guys that are ahead of him, and, it's largely the names of the most successful coaches this sport has ever seen.
Yeah.
He's well on his way on that track to, being one of those guys. And, it's going to come down to winning big games in March, but God damn it, I love Tommy Lloyd, Kevin.
I would trust Tommy Lloyd with my life. Life or death situation. I bet Tommy Lloyd saves my life if I needed him to.
Sure.
I trust that he could. Damon, Tommy Lloyd joins Tony Hinkle of Butler, Ray Meyer of DePaul, Mark Few, of course, of Gonzaga, Jamie Dixon when he was at Pitt, as the only coaches to reach 100 in just 126 games. If he had gotten it done. I guess if the Wildcats, not him himself, had gotten it done last game against Tech there.
Oh, yeah.
Damon, he would have been 15th tied for all time.
And he would have been above Mark Few.
He would have been by 1. He would have joined Nat Holman, Buster Sheary, and Don Haskins. Some
legends.
Yeah, just
absolute legends.
That's 1929, 1953, and 1966 as well. So
I'll never forget Don Haskins. And what team did he coach, Kevin?
UTEP. You don't know, dude?
And those UTEP minors, man, they were unbelievable.
UTEP teams, come on, man.
Is that the Glory Road coach?
Those 66 squads. Oh man.
Actually, I think is that genuinely the Glory Road coach?
Don't know.
Have you the movie Glory Road?
No, I don't.
I think that might be the coach that had the first African American players on his team and won the national championship.
Don Haskins. Let's see. I'm looking at this. Is great podcasting here. Glory Road, my story of the 1966 NCAA championship and how one
Ball
team triumphed against
on
all
100.
odds. Coach Don Haskins wrote the book.
See, who could forget Don Haskins? The thing is, I actually knew who Don Haskins was. That's the crazy part. But
I thought you were messing with me.
No, I'm dead serious. Dude made an impact, but also
respect.
Tommy Lloyd making an impact on Arizona.
Yes.
Mark Few, like I said, if he won against Texas Tech, would have been 1 game ahead of Mark Few. That would have meant something special to me, Kevin. But hey, man, that's okay. We still got it at 126. We didn't get beat by Mark Few. And guess what? We did it in a real basketball conference too.
True.
That's a damn fact. You can't take that away from us. Mark Few was playing against, enterprise rental car guys and fidelity workers, and Tommy Lloyd's doing it in power conferences.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, honestly, Damon, when we look at the last 3.5 years here of the Tommy Lloyd era at Arizona, Damon, there's no way that fans can look at this run from Tommy Lloyd and not think that he's one of the best coaches in the nation. Now, I'm not saying that it's been perfect. There are points to look at and feel disappointed, right? But there's not many that you'd rather have than Tommy Lloyd. And if we're being quite honest, just you and I, Damon, if Arizona was to ever make the gravest mistake and let go of Tommy Lloyd for whatever reason, there's no one realistically that Arizona could even go get that would be better than Tommy Lloyd. So not only is he one of the best coaches in the country, he's probably the best coach that Arizona can possibly theoretically acquire. And I think that more people should be thankful for having a guy like Tommy Lloyd. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think generally everyone is thankful. I think really the people that are, and like we've talked about many times, Arizona basketball fans have high standards, and rightfully so.
Yes.
I think that leads to some people, a vocal minority of people that are extremely loud when it comes to any time that Arizona loses a basketball game, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Lloyd is undoubtedly one of the best coaches in the country. I think consensus Arizona Wildcat fans love Tommy Lloyd. And yeah, we all know that if something ever happened to him, he'd be scooped up in literally an hour by another team. I realistically, I think the only way that Tommy Lloyd leaves Arizona really is on his own accord.
Yeah.
But I also don't really see that happening. This seems like a place he wants to stay. But yeah, I mean, enough talking about the bigger picture there, Kevin. Congrats to Coach Lloyd. We love you. Big accomplishment. But let's start talking about this actual game here.
All right. Let's do it.
Caleb Love is back.
Yes.
Like he never left.
Yes.
Except he's pretty much not been here all season long.
Yeah.
But 27 points tonight on 10 of 17 shooting, 4 of 9 from 3, which you love to see. 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, Kevin, locked in on that defensive end. Love to see that from Caleb Love. And just love to see the ball go in the basket a little bit.
Damon, you and I were watching this game here, and we our roles kind of switched. Usually Damon is bad cop. I am good cop. We've discussed this
true.
before.
This is true.
Tonight I was bad cop when we were watching this game, and Damon was good cop. But I'll give Caleb Love credit here because while Oklahoma State is probably not the best team in the conference, probably not even one of the half of the best teams in the conference. Damon, Caleb Love started this game, and I criticized him for this in the first half. He started this game 1 for 4 from the field, all 4 shots being 3-pointers. I was upset because I'm like, this is not the recipe for success. If you're Caleb Love, you can't just not have it and then continue to fire away. You got to get downhill.
Yeah.
Right. But credit to Caleb Love, because what did Caleb Love do? Continue to figure out the defense, continue to find his shot. And over time, Damon, hey, shut me up, because he put up a beautiful stat line literally as soon as that 1 for 4 hit the score sheet. So credit to Caleb Love. And I think this is a good sign for Caleb Love, Damon, because yes, we're talking about him doing it against a team that's not at the top of the half of the conference again, but I think the biggest thing is that he started this game continuing his slump and got out of it in this game and did not let it, bring down his spirits or bring down his desire to find the right shot. I think that Caleb Love, this is the first time we've seen Caleb Love fight through a slow start to a game this season, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but
I think that's a fair
point,
memory,
Kevin. I think this is the first time.
I think it's a fair point, because Caleb Love feels like the type of player where you know what you're getting in that game out of Caleb Love in the first 5 minutes.
I was literally going to say he's a first 5 minutes guy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Caleb Love got off the bus and he's about to drop 30 tonight. Or, oh my God, is Caleb Love going to just shoot 6 3-pointers and not make a single one? Like I feel like there's really no in between there. And you're right. He didn't start off great, and he fought through. He finished the half 4 of 7, 1 of 4 from 3, as you noted, and then in the second half, he went 6 of 10 shooting. Took about twice as many shots almost, and made 60% of them. Hit some threes, hit 3 3-pointers. Like,
they were some nice threes.
They were some nice threes,
real pretty,
and they looked confident too. And he, even the one that he missed, like it wasn't how we felt a lot of this season when I know Caleb hit that. He had that one that went in and out, Kevin, and you weren't happy with it. That early shot clock 3-pointer in the first half.
I hated it,
and I wasn't mad at it. And this is where our good cop, bad cop started. But he just kept taking the good looks. I felt like he wasn't really forcing anything. to get into that groove as well, Kevin, you saw him really take it to the rack in the start of the second half. He started going aggressive to the rim, seeking contact, really good touch. Got fouled. I tweeted it. We counted 4 fouls on that one.
The drive. Yeah,
that one drive off that steal. I mean, he got fouled literally 4 times, and
once at half court, once at the hash, once at the free throw line, once at the basket.
Yeah, and the first 3 were all the same guy, by the way. He literally just kept reaching and getting in his way, and the refs were just like, nothing to see here. We don't. Oh, it looks good. But Caleb Love, finished through the contact. We love to see it, and he was really good in this game. There's not much else to say from that perspective, but there is something to say from the perspective of this is Oklahoma State. You talked about it already. This isn't one of the better teams that we're going to play. Can we get this Caleb Love versus a team that is a good team? You mentioned a top 50 KenPom team. I think we're going to bring those stats for tomorrow's show, Kevin.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
And we'll give you a comparison of Caleb Love's statistics versus top 50 KenPom teams versus non-top 50 teams. And, I'm assuming there's a stark contrast there.
Yeah. Maybe there's not. Maybe the eye test is fooling all of us.
We'll have more at noon on that tomorrow. But it's just, something that it bears noting, right? And this is not, I want to see it versus a team where I'm like, man, he really carried us to the victory. I mean, he kind of did in a way tonight. He puts up 27 in a 14-point win, but it really felt like we were going to win this game no matter what to me. So I want to see it against a team where it's like, man, Caleb Love really pushed them over the top.
And I was just going to bring up to you, Damon, I think one important thing that we had to bring up is I think ordinarily I would come on this show and I would be abounding with energy. I think I'd be exploding at the hip. You know what I'm saying? This would be a great energetic experience
because he's from St. Louis.
Sure. Yeah. Also, yeah. But I think just seeing Arizona bounce back after a conference loss, their first conference loss, road game, another road game would have been a great thing to see. But I think when you play a team like Oklahoma State, you and I talked about it yesterday on the show, Damon, you just got to beat this team and you got to beat them bad. And if you don't, then we're disappointed. And I think the way this game started, I think that, like I said, Arizona kind of fought through some sleepiness in the first 5 minutes of this game. I mean, it was a Stanford Cal environment. It was you called it a library. There was just nothing going on.
I like your Stanford Cal comparison. We're in Palo Alto on a nice cold Tuesday night in the
it's like
in
we're
the Bay
back
Area.
Playing a team whose mascot's a freaking tree, dude. What are we talking about? But no,
in a team where there's it feels like there's 12 people in the stands. No offense to Oklahoma State, but I kind of said that Stillwater was going to be a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Their football stadium is one of the hardest places to play in the entire country. They talk about Stillwater on a black night. Oh man, that's a tough place to play. But
football is different in those parts of the country. It is
because that basketball environment was just not it tonight.
No, it was not, Damon. But I think it you just want to see Arizona take care of business, right? And this was a night where Arizona, nothing was perfect. None of these games have been perfect. Probably none of these games will be perfect, Damon. But you just wanted to see Arizona handle business, and that's what they did. And so, you can't be upset. I'm not upset at the performance. There's things that I wasn't happy with, but I'm happy with more things that I'm unhappy with tonight, Damon, because Arizona got the dub, and that is what matters. Caleb Love is back, and he's never going to go anywhere. He's going to average 30 until the end of the season. That's how I'm feeling tonight. I'm back, and you know what? I've got myself back in the Delulu zone, and Caleb Love is going to be a lottery pick, Damon.
I'm with you. I'm with you there, brother. I hope it happens. But one thing I didn't realize tonight, Kevin, because I kind of put my head down, and me and you just got to the grind, and started working on building out this show, but Liam Lloyd played in Tommy Lloyd's 100th victory tonight. How special is that? I mean, is that not what it's all about?
Man, I could get emotional, David.
Yeah, that's special. That truly is special.
In all seriousness, that must be awesome for Tommy. That's
pretty cool, man. He got a rebound.
Yeah. Okay.
Over one shooting.
No, the announcers
imagine if he ripped that shot.
Did you hear the announcers talking about how Tommy had a quick leash with his own son?
I didn't actually.
He got in there. I think Liam made a mistake. Like you said, we were kind of locked in. But Liam kind of made a mistake, is what it sounded like. And Tommy instantly yanked him out of the game.
Get your ass out. I love that.
It's like, Dad, dude, we're up by 20. Get out. Sit.
That's the opposite of what Bobby Hurley did back in the day when his son, when Bobby Jr. was on the team, just letting him just rip every shot under the sun. But yeah, kind of kind of a tale of two halves for a few people tonight here, Kevin. Henry Vasar in foul trouble.
That was tough. Got in foul trouble so early, too.
In the first half. Did kind of neutralize what he's going to do going into that game. And you know who was talking on his name, putting mustard on his jacket, Kevin? Eric Ruby sitting on the couch. The way you guys talk about this Henry Vasar guy, you'd think he was averaging 19. Well, guess what? In the second half, Henry Vasar, when he actually got to play some minutes, in 9 minutes, put up 9 points, 2 rebounds, blocked a couple shots as well. I mean, I liked what I saw from Henry in the second half. Didn't love one of the foul calls on him in the first half. Same with Toby Awaka's. Like, I thought they called a couple weak kind of touch fouls.
Let's just call this what it is. Not to cut you off, but I'm going to fully support you, my co-host, on this. The refs needed to subtract themselves from this basketball game at times. This was not a situation where we needed the refs involved. Two teams were going back and forth. We were having a fair fight, and then the refs are just like, hey, whoa, hold on now. Let's take a timeout. Let's think about this. It's like, well, we don't need more free throws in this one. These are touch fouls. Leave us alone. Like, let the boys play. This is a game that ended up as a blowout. Like, what are we talking about?
I didn't think that they were like horrible tonight.
They weren't, but they were a little annoying at times.
They were. The early first half fouls on the front court guys, I just thought were a little bit weak.
Damon, the Arizona State game started 10 minutes after our game, or Arizona's game tipped off.
And finished 15 minutes earlier.
Was live as our game was still going.
Yeah.
That's the Zebras' fault.
Yeah. I mean, you had a combined 47 free throws here between the two teams. And the basketball and football guys, right? Like, they didn't let the bigs play defense in the first half, but Arizona fought through that as well. Another good sign, Kevin. I think there was some concern about how Arizona was playing in that first half. Kind of going back and forth with Oklahoma State. To me, Oklahoma State, like a culmination of a couple of things there. Your front court, no one's getting consistent minutes and kind of, feeding into the game and getting in that energy because everybody had to keep getting in and out because there were so many fouls. The other thing was, Oklahoma State just kept hitting contested shots. And sometimes there's nothing you can do when the other team is just going to hit contested shots with a hand in their face,
Marcellus Avery, Damon.
This guy,
we were talking about him.
This dude was pissing me off, Kevin.
I guess they went back and changed one of his threes to a 2 because the stat cast that I have has him now with 5 for 8 from 3. It was 6 for 8 from 3, so maybe there was a 2 foot on the line, a little Kevin Durant situation there. But no, Damon, there were some threes that these Oklahoma State pokes were putting up that were quite literally ridiculous that they were going in. Oklahoma State, we were talking about the free throws. I know we're going to get back to the 3-point defense. I just wanted to say this about the free throws before I forget. Oklahoma State's one of the best teams in the country at drawing free throws. I believe they lead the Big 12 in free throw attempts per game, Damon. And it was feeling like it was going to be one of those games where we're going to be sitting here watching a free throw contest. Not like it was going to be super close, but in the sense that they were going to be drawing a lot of fouls and not, the game was going to be really slow. But yeah, no, Marcellus Avery had us frustrated in here, Damon. Some of the threes he was hitting, Damon literally goes, "Oh, I didn't know we were playing against prime Steph Curry. This is like,"
I was mad at one point, dude, when he hit that 6 3-pointer. That's when I lost it, Kevin, because it was still somewhat of a game at that point, and I was like, I'm sorry, does this guy have 6 threes right now in with 15 minutes left in the second half of a college basketball game? I tweeted it at the time too. Like, it's always one guy. It's always one freaking guy, man. That this team just, like, for some reason just lets just go off. I don't understand it. It happened against TCU. It happened against TCU for sure was one of the big ones because it wasn't against a player that was necessarily very scary on paper, if I remember correctly. Like, he was like not really close to their leading scorer. Happened against Texas Tech. I mean, they have Chance McCormick he hits 50% of his threes, but
McMillan.
Yeah, McMillan. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like this team just has a tendency to just let one guy just start going unconscious from the field, and I don't know what that is or what they need to game plan for differently, because it doesn't seem like the coaches are just not coming up with that. When we did our research on Oklahoma State, Kevin, like, this wasn't really even a guy we were too concerned about.
No, I mean, we weren't concerned about any of the players on Oklahoma State.
No, but he's a 34% 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he's not exactly a lethal sharpshooter. He's not often looking at the rim saying, "Oh, I understand it now." He never understands it. But tonight he understood it, and he understood it very well. But Damon, I was thinking over here as to why this might be, because this has been a storyline all season, right? Like, why is it always one guy? Why can't Arizona just shut down this one guy who's getting hot from three? And I said earlier in the year on one of our live shows that maybe it's just Tommy's style of adjustments in game, that it doesn't really allow the team to shift their focus to one player, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the way that he talked about the Texas Tech loss, right? He said the plan worked, right? He said that he came back to what he thought about pregame and leaned on that as why the plan worked, and maybe we just need to reevaluate some other things.
Yeah.
Maybe he looks at his defense the same way. Maybe he does his scout. Maybe he does his game planning, and that's what we're gonna do. Like maybe it's not like
adjustments.
Maybe there is no. I'm sure there's room for adjustment, but maybe there's not room for broad sweeping changes on the fly. If Marcellus Avery gets going instead of an Arturo Dean or an Usman, right?
Yeah, like maybe what you're saying is Tommy's saying like this is what we were kind of wanting to happen, and if he's just gonna hit it, we're gonna tip our cap to him, like we might preview for a little bit later in the show, and yeah, like I think you put your hand up and you say, hey, they were better than us that night. They hit those contested shots because they were contested. Like that's the thing. A lot of those were not easy threes. So I think that there's actually probably some validity to that point, Kevin. I do agree with that. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this game. Look at the numbers. Give out a player of the game right after we talk about some sponsors on the show.
Well, Damon, one thing I love to talk about is personal hygiene, because we all got to take our personal hygiene serious, Damon? And one way to get started with that is with our friends over at Mando and their starter pack. Damon, now let me tell you a little bit about Mando. One thing that we all got to take serious is, like I said, personal hygiene, and there's no better way to do that with Mando's whole body deodorant, which is safe to use everywhere on your body. I'm talking your pits, I'm talking your back, I'm talking your butt, I'm talking your crack, I'm talking your balls, I'm talking your grundle, I'm talking
grundle.
I was gonna say ear, but I don't know if you're allowed to put it in your ear. But
maybe behind the ear.
Yeah, maybe behind the ear. Just maybe not put it in your body. You know what I mean? Whole body, all on the exterior of the body. Deodorant, Damon. You can choose from a variety of scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport if you're just into that more athletic kind of scent. It's clinically proven to control odor better than shower and soap alone. And if you want a Mando starter pack, I just want to let you know that it's perfect for all new customers. Damon and I are still saving up for our starter pack here at the office. I have not put on deodorant in like a week now, so we're literally $1 away, guys. Save Damon. But as a special offer for our listeners, new customers can get $5 off a starter pack, which includes a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. And you can get that with our exclusive code PHNX at shopmando.com, SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them PHNX sent you.
Another promo code for you, PHNX, with our friends over at Game Time. Game Time, when you sign up and use that promo code PHNX, you're going to get $20 off that first purchase for any single place you want to buy tickets to, whether that's a concert, a sporting event, a comedy show, essentially anything that, you buy tickets for, Kevin. Game Time is going to have those for you, and they're going to have the lowest price guaranteed, or they're going to refund you that money back. 110% of the difference.
It's like Charles Barkley. Guarantee.
It's exactly like that, Kevin. Your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time, and your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. I love Game Time. It's the most beautiful interface of all the ticketing apps you'll go on as well. Those ticketing apps are nasty with the interfaces. I'm actually not even kidding right now. Like that. I know sometimes we get into it a little bit. Game Time, by far the best interface. You click on the, it moves fast. It's got like the nice night mode on it. It's,
I love the
dark
night mode.
screen. Like that's what Game Time's all about. They're going to show you where the view from where your seat is in the stadium. That's my favorite feature on the app. Use Game Time to buy your tickets. It's by far the best place. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price.
Guaranteed.
Time is it, Kevin?
Oh, it's game time. Sorry,
It's game time.
my bad. I just really was into the guaranteed.
No,
mode.
that was right. I needed you to say that as well.
Okay,
That we were
good.
doing both. We were
I'm
riffing
good.
just both right there. But
Okay, had to make sure I was on the same page. Can't just be letting the guarantees fly in any moment. You know?
Yeah. I just wanted to rehash a point that you made on earlier in the first segment, Kevin, about in-game adjustments. It is, as much as we're waxing poetic about Tommy Lloyd and how much we love him and everything, that is the one area of I believe of his game that I'm not I don't think is elite. You know what I mean? I think he's an elite level recruiter, even though people have their concerns about that. And I think that's just because whenever Arizona doesn't get a guy that they're trying to get, it's does Tommy have the killer instinct to get these guys to commit?
For Tommy Lloyd?
Yeah.
Does he know what a good basketball player
We're
looks
going to
like?
probably have the #1 class in the country, in my opinion, going into next season. I think, personally, if you ask me today, I think that the players that they're going to bring in, that's going to net the #1 recruiting class in the country, Kevin. And so I think he's an elite recruiter. I think he's an elite, at establishing his system. I love the way that he wants to run his team. I think he's got elite vibes. There's no question about that. I think a lot of college basketball coaches, you mentioned college basketball coaches and just high level college coaches in general. You're getting a lot of Mick Cronin's. You're getting a lot of Nick Sabans.
Gross.
Guys that are not necessarily you want to, hang out with. I think Tommy Lloyd seems like a genuinely likable, good dude as well. Easy to root for. The one thing that I am not completely sold on is that those in-game adjustments. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
No, I agree. And I think the longer we talk about this, the more cemented I am on this topic is, as you're right, his in-game adjustments leave a lot to be desired. And I think part of that is maybe because of what we talked about in the last segment about maybe he does lean too heavily on his pregame scout and his pregame game plan that he's coming in there with. But I think, the thing about not everyone can be Ty Lue. You know what I mean? Where fans go into half and assume that they're going to get a different team in the second half than they got in the first half just because their coach is some wizard with the in-game adjustments. I don't think Tommy Lloyd will ever be that guy, but I think that these things come with experience, Damon. And Tommy Lloyd's a coach who is in his 4th year as a head coach of a major program and head coach in general. But I think that these are things that come with experience. The more tough situations you face, the more memories you have to rely on, the more things you can remember and be like, okay, when we played so-and-so team, this did not go well. Maybe, this is something similar reemerging. I need to handle this differently. So I trust that Tommy Lloyd can get to a place where it's above average. I don't think he'll ever be elite, but I do think we can get to a place maybe in year 5 or 6, maybe, where Tommy Lloyd is really cooking with the in-game adjustments because he's had all this wealth of knowledge and experience to lean on. He's still new to this. I'm not trying to make excuses.
No, but
I'm
you're
just
right.
trying to add context that maybe he needs experience doing the in-game stuff.
You're 100% right. This is his 4th season. It's the middle of his 4th season as being a head of a program. It's not the finished product. And as we've noted, he's been one of the best to do it over the first 4 seasons of his career. I feel comfortable it's going to get better in that regard, and I also don't think that it's necessarily even bad. I guess I'm grading on the scale of elite coaches, and that's what I believe he is. And so I'm pointing out one flaw in his game. But I want to highlight this here from Basketball and Football Guy. Bradley Arenas or Burries, I'm going to say, Bryant, Pete, Vasar would feed families for generations.
Oof.
For generations.
You know how pretty that basketball would be, I feel like?
I love that. I mean,
that's a lot of athleticism on the court. Yeah. Muy caliente.
Fanning myself off. It actually is hot in here, but fanning myself off over here at the thought of that. Dwayne Arrington as well off the bench. Unbelievable. Also, I'd take KJ Lewis in that starting lineup as well.
You know what? I meant to bring this up to you when I came into the office yesterday, but did you see Dwayne Arrington all kitted up with Arizona stuff?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh. Pull it up right now on your laptop. I know we're not supposed to encourage a laptop use during the show right now, but pull up the Dwayne Arrington Instagram.
That's what it's for.
Because he literally had in Tommy We Trust, life-size coin that he was flexing in there. That thing was awesome. We'll get it on the live show tomorrow, guys. But if you're listening, go look at Dwayne Arrington's Instagram if you want a nice laugh. He has an In Tommy I Trust coin It's like a dime that's like this big, and it's just awesome. I mean, look at a guy and tell me that he can't recruit. He has this 5-star, just randomly in January posting up with 8 different slides of Arizona gear. He's got Bryce James before he even commits going 8 slides deep on his Instagram. Tommy Lloyd can recruit, man. And Tommy, we trust. Put it on the dollar. I don't care.
I am not even kidding. I am going to go through the trouble of getting us one of these coins.
Isn't it sick?
I'm going to get us
We should
one of these
DM him.
coins.
See, where'd you say, gang?
I'm
Where'd
going
you
to make
get that?
one on my own. I don't care. I have the skill necessary to make this. We're going to do it.
Let's
I
do it.
love that. We're going to
Let's
get
do
that
it.
as a prop in the office here.
Yeah.
Need that.
Love
Need
that.
one of those.
Love that.
Dwayne Arrington doesn't get to keep that all for himself.
Got to share the wealth, literally.
Yeah, and here's another thing that we're not going to keep all to ourselves. The numbers from tonight,
Yes.
Kevin, because we need to get into them. Brought to you by our friends over at Desert Financial Credit Union, the Valley's longest serving credit union. Desert Financial. Go ahead and go open an account with them. They're going to give you some money when you do so. Been serving the Valley for 84 years. Kevin, looking at these, 92-78, Arizona beats Oklahoma State, 56-46 from the field, 40-43% in favor of Oklahoma State from three-point land. The Cats win the assist battle, 16-14. Kind of a lot of assists there for Oklahoma State, if I do say so myself. Arizona wins the turnover battle with 8, and Oklahoma State has 12, so 4 less there. And then stocks. Arizona continues to dominate stocks, Kevin. Even dominated Texas Tech in stocks, if you remember correctly.
Yeah.
Not a bad little thing to be good at there as a team. As Carter Bryant got a couple beautiful blocks tonight.
Dude,
Henry
that one
Vasar
that he
as
spiked
well.
like a volleyball out to the top
Spiked
of the 3-point line.
Love it.
It did end up in an offensive rebound for Oklahoma State, but I didn't care. It was a beautiful block. It was just gorgeous, Damon. The athleticism, man.
Carter Bryant is so athletic, man. I mean, it's just like it jumps off the screen at you, right? It's not typical that you see like a 6'8" dude move like that. Like and we've been known to do crazy comparisons and stuff on this show.
Oh boy,
but
here we go again.
It reminds you a little bit of like a Paul George, no?
Oh, podcast P mention. Okay.
Am I wrong?
No,
I'm talking about his body.
Yeah, it does.
Just strictly his body and how athletic he is.
I don't know
the way he moves at that size and length. He's not really skinny. He's got like some decent, like I think, beef to him for a guy who's 18 years old, 19 years old,
that's what I was going to say.
Freshman. Like, and he's bigger than most freshmen at that size, I would say. And he just moves really well. He carries that well, and like he just looks like an NBA wing every time you watch him play.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about Paul George specifically. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know about that specifically. Excuse me. But what Eric Ruby said, we were watching some games here with Eric Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
He brought it up. It was the first thing he said when he saw Carter Bryant tonight. They did a little close up of Carter Bryant at the free throw line.
Yep.
And he said, "What year is Carter Bryant?" Because he knew he was a freshman, but we had to remind him. He was like, "Oh yeah, he's a freshman." He goes, "He's real big for a freshman."
Huge.
And this is a guy in Eric Ruby that is out there watching Jaden Quaintance, who's ginormous as a 17-year-old, right? And so like for Eric Ruby, an ASU fan, to look at Carter Bryant and be like, "That's a big freshman," just tells you Carter Bryant is not built like your average freshman basketball player in college, Damon. And he not only is not built like your average college basketball player, he doesn't play like your average college basketball player. He is so much fun to watch, and I've enjoyed every second of Carter Bryant this year.
Yeah, Carter Bryant in the first half played 13 minutes, scored 9 points, was 4 of 5 from the free throw line, which is, I mean, that's incredible. You love to see that many free throw attempts. And then in the second half, cooled off a little bit. Seen that now 2 games in a row, Kevin.
Yeah.
Where he had a great first half and then follows it up with kind of a dud in the second half, not scoring in either of those second halves versus Texas Tech or Oklahoma State. But still liking what I'm seeing from Carter Bryant. And he's just flashing a little bit. And I think this is the perfect segue to start talking about our starter Bryant movement and kind of where that lands us. Given Trey Townsend actually had a really good game tonight.
Dare I say Trey Townsend had one of his best games of the year?
I think it is his best game of the year. He scored 19 points tonight, Kevin. Was 7 of 8 from the field. Had 19 points in 21 minutes, is extremely efficient. And again, I'm going to say the same thing I said to Caleb Love, and that's I want to see it against a legit team. And not that Oklahoma State is horrible. They're, you look at Ken Palm and you want to see where Oklahoma State is. Like, they're 112th, which is pretty bad for a Power 5 or a Power 4 team, I should say. But not just I guess a straight gimme performance, but got to see Trey Townsend do it against a team that I respect a little bit more before I'm really comfortable with how Trey Townsend in that starting lineup feels. But yeah, Trey Townsend, good game tonight. Certainly earned a little bit of some, what's the word for it? Like we got to give him some props.
He earned a little respect for sure.
Definitely.
I'm over here making faces because I'm trying to decide if I'm being a hater, Damon. And you're gonna have to hater check me right now. Because Trey Townsend had 19 points on 7 for 8 shooting, 4 for 4 from the line in just 21 minutes, as you already mentioned. But and again, maybe
also
I'm being a hater.
battled foul trouble.
He did battle foul trouble as well, as a lot of Arizona players did tonight. But he had 2 boards, Damon.
Again,
2 boards, and maybe like I said, I don't want to be a hater because he literally put up a near perfect offensive performance. But like, I need more than 2 boards. You're not
wrong.
And I don't want to be a beggar that is then trying to be a chooser by saying like, oh, we need more from Trey Townsend, and then he gives me 19, and I'm like, but you didn't give me enough rebounds. That's not good enough. Which seems unfair. I feel like I'm moving the goalposts on him. But at the same time, I need you to rebound.
Yeah. I'm going to read off his conference rebounding numbers, Kevin, since we started Big 12 play. You ready for this?
Yeah.
4 against TCU, 4 against Cincinnati, 5 against West Virginia, 3 against UCF, 4 against Baylor, 2 against Texas Tech, 2 against Oklahoma State. He does not have a single game over 5 rebounds in that stretch. He's your starting power forward.
Like I need more in that area. I need more in that area specifically. It's the same thing as Tommy Lloyd said in the postgame press conference after Tech, Damon. He said, he looked at the stat sheet and said, wow, Trey Townsend and Carter Bryant played a lot together tonight, and they didn't get a lot of boards, right?
Yeah.
And the basketball and football guy is being hilarious, but not inaccurate.
He's on one
rebounds tonight. Like he's Conrad's height.
That's so true. I mean,
it is.
He genuinely, and the thing about that,
I think if you
basketball and football guy, he's 6'6". He's basically a shooting guard. I know Conrad, like that's a joke. He's Conrad's 5'6" or whatever, playing point guard. But like Trey Townsend is literally the size of like an NBA shooting guard, and he's playing power forward. And that is why he can't rebound at an effective rate. But I also I don't want to make this into a Trey Townsend hate fest because Trey Townsend just played his best game in a Wildcats uniform.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I don't want to sound like a hater, but
I do feel you though. Like,
but at the same time, like, gotta do the bare minimum on like Damon. You are also a producer at this company, right?
Yes.
If I made the best thumbnail for this show in the show's history,
yes,
but then I left the headline blank,
you no words on the thumbnail.
Did it? I'm not trying to say it didn't matter that he dropped 19, but you get my point though. It's like I'm asking, like I didn't ask you to go above and beyond your job. I asked you to do your job.
Just put a couple words down, brother. Yeah, no, I feel
like just go for 12 and 6. Is 12 and 6 insane to ask of Trey Townsend?
Yeah, I'd rather 12 and 6, really.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't need 19.
More realistic too, because honestly, he's not going to hit 7 of 8 shots every night. You know what I mean? Like Kevin, a lot of those shots that he was hitting we noted it during the game, they were front rim, and then they would kind of roll over the top into the hoop, right?
Yeah, that's true. It would be a bink and then over and in.
Yeah, and that's good touch. Like you love to see that, and that's kind of what we thought we were getting more so out of Trey Townsend. But it also didn't feel like all those shots would go in on a random night. You know what I mean? Like it was a good night for him, and hopefully it continues because we need him to provide a little bit more of that spark and just give you some points in the paint. Really, like that's what he's there for. Toby Awaka is not bringing a lot of points in the paint. Henry Vasar has given you above what you expected from him this season from that perspective. And Trey Townsend was really supposed to be the guy that was the catalyst of those points in the paint for this season. Hasn't been that thus far. Did provide that tonight. So props to Trey Townsend.
And I would like to discuss with Lost Highway this Keyshawn Johnson point, because it is interesting that this like the stats itself is interesting that Trey Townsend is averaging 4 and I think 9 points on the season, and Keyshawn Johnson only averaged 6 rebounds. But I raised the idea that what Keyshawn Johnson was contributing outside of the stat sheet was so outsized to what Arizona was trying to do last season.
Yeah,
it was so pivotal to what Arizona was trying to do. The energy, the defense, the just dog overall, like the random Very timely, top of the key three that he would randomly hit every once in a
Corner
while.
threes.
Corner threes.
Dude, he hit 38% of his three-pointers last year.
I think the difference between like a Trey Townsend and a Kashad Johnson, well, one of the differences between Trey Townsend and a Kashad Johnson is just the timeliness of their good play. We're talking about Trey Townsend having his best game against Oklahoma State in a game that Arizona was never in doubt, maybe outside of the first 5 minutes, right? And yeah, I think that while Trey Townsend like is not like a lost cause or he's not like the worst player in the world or none of that, I think it's totally fair to say Kashad Johnson was a much more productive player for Arizona, even though maybe the stats don't bear that out. Even though like 6 is drastically more than 4.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think Lost Highway is.
He's not totally wrong. No.
I don't think he's trying to say that Kashad is like not a better basketball player than Trey Townsend.
Yes.
So I don't want to put those words in his mouth.
No,
what I'm about to say, I'm not that you said that, but when you compare him, Trey Townsend's averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist on 49% shooting. Kashad Johnson averaged 11 points, so more points per game as a on paper worse scorer than Trey Townsend. 6 rebounds, almost 2 assists, and then shots from the field, shot 53%, so had a better shooting percentage, and was a significantly better defender, and was worlds more athletic than Trey Townsend is. So, you know, I just like I guess like if you're really comparing them, even though Kashad maybe wasn't just like a monster rebounder and only averages 1.7 more rebounds per game than Trey Townsend, the other stuff like you said that he's bringing to the table was just kind of like you can't really quantify it. Like you could,
and that's why he's in the NBA. Like that's why he's in the NBA right now.
And
those intangibles,
and
that's
why
not
I
his
tweeted
rebounding.
The other day that if you could switch them out, this team would be cutting down the nets this season.
And if I had $1 million, I'd be in LA. But anyway,
oh, good point, man.
I think Lost Highway really. I think this is a great point, though. Genuinely, that a lot of chance is involved when you're playing an undersized 4 that's definitely going to get pulled out to the 3 and have to then make up that ground to go get the rebound unless it's a long rebound. That's a good point too. I think what really makes the average Arizona fan like myself or Damon Dog just not feel the good vibes with Trey Townsend is the eye test, right? Like I think there's a lot of times where you're watching this game and something unfortunate is happening surrounding Trey Townsend. Now tonight was not one of those nights, so I don't want to talk too much about that. Probably more than we already have. But yeah, shout out to Trey Townsend. One of his more impressive nights in an Arizona uniform, and hopefully he can bottle this and keep it going. Because who would love nothing more than that? You know what I mean? We would all love to see that. We don't want to see Trey Townsend fail.
No, we do not.
You know what I mean? He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he does. Kevin, do you want to give out a player of the game tonight?
You know, it's just so difficult. You know, I don't want to be biased and give it to the one, the only, the true St. Louis star, Caleb Love. 27 points on 10 for 17, 5 rebounds. The man was the Caleb Love that we all know and love tonight, Damon. Hopefully, like I said with Trey Townsend, hopefully this can carry on deeper into conference play because he hasn't, you know, you and I were watching this game, Damon, and I said it to you. Usually I'd be so much happier about Caleb Love balling out, but it just felt like finally, you know, like it really felt like, okay, this is what we expected. Because what did you and I say on yesterday's show? That this is a game that it screams Caleb Love explosion, right?
It does. We did predict this.
Underwhelming opponent, not, you know, the greatest, but they're a conference opponent. So when it happens, everyone's going to be like, oh, Caleb Love in conference. Watch out now. Remember what he did in the tournament. Watch out. Even Tommy Lloyd in the last post-game press conference was saying last month, Caleb was doing some stuff.
7 games ago.
And so here we are now on another post-game talking about Caleb Love exploding against a subpar conference opponent. And so I'm excited. I love to see Caleb Love succeed. Nothing more than you know, no more than any other person. But I'm at the point where I need to see it against some top opponent, or else it feels like it matters less. But you know, credit to him. Another great night in the career of Caleb Love.
Yeah, I'm with you. Caleb Love deserved it tonight. Went off, but also you're very right. Need to see it against a team where, like we talked about in the first segment. It feels like, you know, he really put the team over the top to get that W, right? I tweeted it towards the end of the game, but Caleb Love, Trey Townsend coming into the season were your 2 most experienced players, right? They've played a lot of college basketball. unfortunately, they've been probably the two players that are struggling the most outwardly, I guess. At least like that kind of jump off the page at you that are struggling, right? And that's kind of a weird dilemma, right? Because typically the guys that are the most experienced are the guys that you expect to be kind of your rocks of your team, the guys who you think are going to come in, night out, and give you, very consistent stat lines. And that hasn't been the case. You saw both players play well tonight. Look how it turns out. Arizona gets a blowout W.
You absolutely love
just like you drew it up, right? That's the way I view it, and hopefully we see a little bit more in the same of that. We got a little bit more that we're going to talk about. Plus, we're going to tip our hat to somebody, Kevin. But first, let's talk about some sponsors on the AZ Wildcats postgame show.
Oh boy, Damon, it's about that time. It's time to talk about Colt Cannabis and our friends over at True Leave. No, I actually stopped by True Leave, like literally, what was it, 2 days ago, yesterday? It might have been yesterday, Damon.
Which location?
Literally the one right up the street from our PHNX headquarters.
Downtown?
Yeah, downtown here. Stop by that True Leave location. I asked the bud tender, he said, "Hey man, what you want today?" I said,
They said, "What's up, Kevin?
You got Colt Cannabis in here?
How's it hanging, homie?
You happen to have the most elite flower, the premium flower, the magic marker? Do you have that?" And they said, "Oh yes, of course we have that." Colt Cannabis and the magic marker is back in all your True Leave locations. That Maricopa True Leave that just opened just 10 days ago, brand new dispensary, baby, Damon. Yeah, so go check that out. If you can't make it out to the Maricopa location or any of your other physical locations, head over to trueleave.com to find your local shop and place an order and tell them PHNX sent you. Tell them I sent you. Tell them Damon sent you. Tell them Derek sent you. Tell them Max sent you. For all I care. Connor, Eric. Just tell them PHNX sent you. Our friends at True Leave and Colt Cannabis. We love you guys. Thank you for dropping the best flower in the valley.
Kevin, I got a question for you. When you say, like, tell them that we sent you, did you show up, get your Colt Cannabis at True Leave and say, "Hey, I sent me, Kevin Thomas. I got me over here."
I mean, I really
Something
didn't
to chew
have
on.
to. I didn't have to say too much, like, because when you go into a dispensary, you just give them your ID. So like off the rip, they know immediately who I am. They know immediately these reads.
They rolled out the red carpet. Second that they
it's
saw
actually a black and white carpet for Colt. It has all the eyeballs on it. It's a beautiful carpet. You should really see
the
it.
nice
person.
branding.
Yeah.
Another place that has beautiful branding, Kevin, is Circle K.
Ah.
I love a good Circle K. Pretty sure that the branding started as like literally a brand, like a cow brand. Like that's, you'd put a Circle K to claim your territory. And Circle K, Arizona, is Circle K territory, Kevin.
Yes, right here.
It's America's thirst stop. And there's no other place I'd like to go when I'm, needing some snacks, needing to, gear up on some energy drinks like I did earlier tonight, needing a Polar Pop. Circle K is just the best. The Inner Circle is what you got to sign up for. You get 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Then you get 3 cents off per gallon every time you fill up after that until you become a premium member, and you get 5 cents off per gallon, like me, like Kevin, like everyone at PHNX. It is a great thing to be a part of. They have deals on everything for the Inner Circle that they sell at Circle K. So get in on that. It is free. You can sign up at the pump, on your phone. It doesn't matter. Scan this QR code we got on the screen there. Make it nice and easy for you. They'll direct you. And all Polar Pops or Frosters are 79 cents when you're a member of the Inner Circle. So join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Well, Kevin, I teased it. We're going to tip our cap to a couple cats tonight, presented by our friends over at Branded Bills.
Love you guys.
Elevate your brand with Branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel. Use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Branded Bills, man, they got a whole Arizona section at the bookstore. My guy Kevin was in Tucson, and he sent me a picture of it, of these special Branded Bills hats.
We got to get that picture just to have for these moments.
We do. And then guess what? Kevin, you showed it to the Branded Bills folks when they came into the studio, and they didn't even know what you were talking about.
I broke news to that.
It's that classified, the Arizona collection that they have at the bookstore.
That's how exclusive it is.
Yeah, the people that work there and create the hats are like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Oh,
it's literally an Arizona company.
Hats.
It's an Arizona made company, and
they sell it at McHale. They sell it at the Arizona Football Stadium. Branded Bills, the best in the business. Kevin, I'll let
Yep.
you start. I'm gonna give the floor to you. Who are you tipping your hat to tonight? Do you need a hat? Can we get you a hat?
Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, there's a couple behind you. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
there is, but
just tip your hat for me. I'm gonna tip my hat to Arizona's offensive rebounding team rebounding tonight. I would say would be my tip of the hat because Oklahoma State is a team that offensively rebounds very well with some of the best teams in the country. It is one thing that they are very good at, offensive rebounding and getting to the free throw line. Those are the two things that Oklahoma State basketball under Lutz in his first year has really been evolving around, right? And I think Arizona did a great job of, while yes, Oklahoma State got to the line. They got to the line no more times than Arizona did, and I think that is a huge thing. And not only that, my tip of the hat goes to the offensive rebounding, total rebounding. Arizona out-rebounded them by 5. Offensively, Arizona was only out-rebounded by 1, and second chance points they lost by a margin of 3 points, but Damon, that's improvement. That's something that we've been monitoring here over the last couple months here. Arizona's offensive rebounding struggles. Well, I guess it's defensive rebounding, but you get my point here.
I do.
Arizona's rebounding struggles and second chance points and yeah, just letting teams get into their groove. And Arizona did not do that tonight, and they walked out with a W against the Pokes.
Lost you the game against Texas Tech, to your point.
UCLA as well.
I want to say love the analysis, love the take. Think it's very measured and I think it makes a whole lot of sense, as far as the outcome of the basketball game.
But
also want to tell the chat, I apologize for Kevin taking the easy way out and basically saying the entire team is who he's tipping his cap to tonight. When he said that he's going to tip the cap to the rebounding, so the whole roster.
What was I supposed to do?
I'm tipping my hat to a player, to a particular person. And when I do so, I'm going to do it
Damon.
to my guy, Trey Townsend, baby.
Right, yeah.
I love it, Trey Townsend.
You know what? No, you do this.
From the
You
field.
do this. Yeah.
I've always been a believer in Trey Townsend. Everybody who has watched this fine program knows that I have never said a negative word about him. And Trey Townsend showed up tonight in a big way. I'm tipping my cap to you, sir. What a performance, Trey. I'm very happy with what you did tonight, and I do want to give you some praise on a night in which you probably played your best basketball in a Wildcats uniform.
I mean, Damon, you want to talk about being the bigger man. You want to talk about showing growth and maturity and evolution in your game as a host.
I'm very humble.
Look at this. I mean, I tweeted #tired of Townsend less than a week ago. And now here my co-host is tipping his hat. I'm not going to do that.
I've said some nasty things, not on air, but
nothing too crazy for context.
No, certainly not. But yeah, it sounded like a little hateful the way that I said nasty. Didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, well, not that. All
basketball nasty.
Basketball nasty.
Mostly describing Trey Townsend's basketball as nasty.
Yes,
mostly
correct, and his rebounding ability. But I want to tip my cap to him tonight. He had a good game.
He deserves it. He really does deserve it. We kid a lot with this guy on my shirt right here, but Trey Townsend is, he got brought here for a reason, and tonight.
We try to call it like we see it, Kevin.
Yeah, and so far we've seen a lot of mid, but tonight was not it. And Trey Townsend had looked awesome tonight, was impactful. Had some people on Twitter saying he was going to drop a lot of points in this one based on just literally. I think he came out and scored the first 4.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about this? Trey Townsend really tries to get going in the first 3 possessions of a game. He really tries to get off in the first 3 possessions.
Not sure I love that, but sure.
Hey man, it worked out tonight. It worked. The snowball got rolling real fast tonight for Trey Townsend. But yeah,
Kevin,
he deserves a tip of the hat. My tip of the hat goes to the offensive rebounding performance, and that's
the whole team. Kevin's picking the whole team because he's copping out. And we talk about my humility and how humble I am, and how I was just the bigger man in picking Trey Townsend as our tip of the hat. Another moment in which I was very humble tonight and showed a lot of humility, when there was earlier in this game in the second half, a gummy worm on the floor in this office, Kevin. Let's just get straight into it. I can't believe we're 54 minutes into this show and we haven't talked about it yet. We're actually not going to
litigate this. We're not going to do this.
So Kevin is up going to the bathroom and he yells at everybody, unloads PHNX Sun Devils, PHNX AZ Wildcats.
Eric,
we're watching.
This is insane because I can't even defend myself because the main reason
Can I
Go
can I
ahead.
explain the
Go
story?
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You can
Go ahead.
You'll
Go
have your
ahead,
time.
bro.
Yeah, guys, are you feeling this right now, or is this just me, or is that energy extremely?
You haven't even explained the situation.
I haven't
It's like,
said
you're wrong, you're wrong.
I'm getting
I know, dude.
PTSD from half
I
an hour
know.
ago when half the office was yelling at me for
The
what
whole
Damon's
office
about
was
to
yelling
explain.
at you because you were wrong. And Kevin, he gets up to go to the bathroom. He sees a gummy worm on the floor. He points out who left a gummy worm on the floor.
A gummy worm that wasn't there 5 minutes before.
Very normal thing to point out. I think we all say, hey, that's extremely normal to point out. Makes sense. Kevin, of course, goes to the bathroom. Fine. And, we don't think anything of it. We kind of just move on as a group. Then about, I would say 5 to 10 minutes later, I get up for some reason, and I see said gummy worm sitting in the exact same spot on the floor that it was pointed out to earlier. And no one claimed it when Kevin brought it up earlier because it was none of the people in this room that left the gummy worm there. All of a sudden, I have to throw the gummy worm away as the adult in the room because that's what people do when they find trash on the ground in places that they work, live, etc. And Kevin, for some reason, just walked past it multiple times back and forth and just did not pick up the garbage.
Look, man. I can't really say the reason why it was even interesting that the gummy worm ended up there in the first place. Can I? Is that like it feels rude to say why it ended up there, right? Like it feels rude.
He's trying to blame it on the cleaning people,
this is what I'm
in which we do not know. We do not know if they truly put it on there or not.
It wouldn't be on purpose. It would have been like it came out of like the little like dustpan situation. Like it wouldn't have been on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm not going to pick up a mystery gummy worm that I don't know where it came from, where it's been, how long it's been out of the bag, how many hairs it has on it. Like, I'm not doing that. Like,
all right. Well, guess what? Hand up, guys. I will do that. I'm a big enough person where I will do that.
Wonderful.
Like I said, I'm the most humble. I care the most about society and people, and I will show that in the way that I will pick up a gummy worm and throw it away.
When you and I as my mom's saying in the chat, that she's pretty much saying that I've never had to clean for myself, which is I don't think that's the defense that she thinks that it is.
Thank you, June.
But I think I would love to see when you and I go into public for these takeovers and as we bud into flowers as hosts and we do live events. I want to see how much litter you pick up in the real world, Damon, because you seem to have a real Captain Planet, a real freaking Captain Planet gene in you. So I had better see you pick up bottle caps, chicken wing bones. I had better see you pick up everything. It's a bunch of chicken wing bones all over Phoenix, my friend. It's a bunch.
Chicken wing bones is maybe the single nastiest thing to possibly pick up off the floor.
I thought we cared about humankind. I thought we cared about the planet. I thought we cared about picking up stuff, Damon.
First off, I spend my every Saturday and Sunday, all my free time, actually picking up garbage off the side of the highway. That's just who I am as a person. Second off, I did mention earlier that I'm talking about solely in your office, your room.
I pick up my stuff.
Your living room.
I pick up all my stuff.
Well, that was no one else's. That was like someone's got to pick it up.
I don't even eat gummy worms, Damon.
Why are you too good to pick it up when the rest of us would be expected to pick it up? I don't understand what puts Kevin on this freaking pedestal above everybody else.
But you are assuming that I expect everyone else to pick up that gummy worm when I don't. I don't expect anyone else to pick it up.
So we were just leaving a gummy worm on the floor until people came in the office the next day for them to pick it up.
You're literally describing the bystander effect.
And some of us are just, some of us just the collective means a little bit more, just a little bit more, And I guess
if you want to be a part of the collective,
I'm one of those guys.
If you want to be a part of the collective, like if you're currently on our TV platform watching and you want to be a part of the collective having this conversation where I'm getting destroyed for literally just leaving a disgusting gummy worm on the ground for the first time in my entire
perfectly normal
freaking life, check over at gophnx.com, where the assault will continue of my character and my integrity on this postgame show where Arizona, I would like to remind people we're talking about basketball. Arizona, good Arizona tonight. Good Caleb Love. David, let's talk a little bit about Caleb Love,
Sure.
Yeah, Erica, I did learn that lesson.
Hell of a deflection.
Damon wants me to learn the lesson of to pick it up. I learned the lesson of to say nothing instead.
Man, dude, this guy. I mean, you've never met a more me guy in the entire world. It's
Which
all
is
about
crazy,
Kevin.
Because literally, I think until today, Damon would have described me as the least me guy.
I know. I would have said Kevin's all about
But
the boys.
this one gummy worm has ruined. Like it's
changed everything I know about
it's
Kevin
like when
as
you
a person.
It's like Damon's like a 5th grader, and he just saw his math teacher like eating a disgusting like hamburger at like the local fair, and he's like, "Wait, you don't sleep at the school? What happened? Wait, what?" Like, bro, I didn't pick up the gummy worm. It's okay.
I just
It's
found
all good.
out earmuffs, kids. I just found out Santa Claus wasn't real.
Whoa! Okay.
I give a warning.
I didn't know that's where we were going, man.
I just, it's one of those things where it's like you think you know a guy, and then you really, really come to find out who someone is. I've known Kevin for, full disclosure, since about August, Kevin?
Yeah. But you literally didn't have to. You literally didn't have to bring
4 months
Santa
in, I thought
into
Kevin
this.
was a different dude.
You didn't have to bring Santa into this, bro. That's low. Telling the kids Santa ain't real, that's low. That's the kind of guy Damon is, by the way.
I put earmuffs on the kids.
That's fine.
I
That's
literally
fine.
said earmuffs, kids. What do you want me? What else do you want me to do?
Not say it. I still put out my cookies, Damon.
And that's the AZ Wildcats postgame show, everybody. I think we've said all we need to say about this game and about Kevin's just habits as an adult.
It's all good.
Just sad stuff. But I am at Damon Dog. That is DAWG. He is at Kevo Post. That's KEVOPOSTS, where you will find him, just totally, trying to explain away his habits and his, deficiencies as a person, like he did tonight.
You can ask Grok on X now. You can ask Grok the AI like to give a breakdown of your account. Like, hey, describe my account to the average user. I think if you ask them to describe my account, it would just say this user often describes his lack of desire to pick up gummy worm in the office, and that's his entire Twitter. He doesn't talk about anything else.
Certainly. We are at PHNX_Wildcats for our main account. Got a really sick Tommy Lloyd 100 win graphic up there. Go check that out. Give it a retweet. Give it a like. Helps us out a lot. Like, subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Like this video. Kevin, we're at 27 likes. That's not good enough, frankly.
I'm going to sleep like garbage tonight.
Yeah,
I'm going to sleep like that gummy worm tonight.
Kevin needs 50 likes or else things really, really get weird in his world.
No, actually, if you want me to pick up the next gummy worm, like this video. I'll do it.
Like this video.
If you like this video right now, I'll go put a gummy worm on the ground and then pick it up.
I like that. We're gonna use the likes to make Kevin a better person to just the world around him, right? Like this,
Yes.
We're gonna use the likes as a way to just improve Kevin's thoughts about society. And
They're kind of like treats to a dog.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
like a puppy. Treat me like a puppy.
Definitely. That's what we're going to do. Like this video. Subscribe to this channel. Thank you for kicking it with us. We had a really fun time on this postgame show. Arizona wins 92-78.
Woo, woo.
And we're going to be back tomorrow at noon on a Wednesday. We're going to be talking some football, some basketball, previewing the upcoming game against Colorado, and anything else that happens along the way. For Damon, for Kevin, this is the AZ Wildcats postgame show. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Pick up your gummy worms, kids.
We all silly like the mayor.